my name is Lonnie Gill. I'm one of the orchestra directors at Alamo Heights Junior School in San Antonio, Texas. And today I wanted to talk to you about violin and viola setup and how to help your students achieve the best setup possible. The number one thing I always remind my students is to keep a neutral spine and have your head floating at all times as if you weren't even playing the instrument to begin with. So when your students put the violin or viola on their shoulder, you want to make sure that the chin is what's touching the chin rest and not the cheek or any other body part. When they put the instrument up, I like to start my beginners with touching the button to the neck and making sure that the shoulder rest is properly adjusted. After that, I make sure that the students are just placing, not gripping, their chin onto the instrument, and that the scroll is in line with the nose and that it's not falling down or up. After that, you can start to talk about your elbow placement. So what I do is I have my students touch their nose and bring it back so that the elbow is in line with the first F hole and not under the instrument. Another thing that's really important to realize is that upper string instrumentalists are required to sit and stand when they play. Whatever your classroom setup is, really try to make sure you expose your students to both sitting and standing. What's really important when you are standing is to make sure that that elbow that we just talked about is in line with your toes. So I like to tell my students to always check when they're standing, scroll to your nose, elbow to your toes. As students get older, it might be time to upgrade to different viola sizing that is larger than a 14-inch. When the students are putting the viola on their shoulder, you need to be very careful and make sure that they're using a very natural bow angle. Sometimes I run into violas when they just upgraded to a larger instrument using a very awkward pronation of the wrist when playing on the instrument because the bow angle isn't necessarily correct. So what I would recommend is to move the viola a little bit towards the center of their body, depending on the size of the student, so that when they place the tip of the bow on the string, the wrist is less pronated and they're going to be able to bow more freely and use the entire length of the bow. You might want to consider trying this with some of your violinists as well if you're running into the same problem. All right, I hope these tips are helpful in your classroom.